Today I'm exploring one of the biggest sloping gardens in the UK to discover how they get on when they're 1,000 feet up in the Pennines. Scape Lodge is the highest garden in the UK that you can visit as part of the National Garden Scheme, set 1,000 feet up in the Pennines in West Yorkshire. Over a period of 12 years, Elizabeth and David Smith have transformed this garden with plantings along the rocky hillsides and gravel paths, twisting up and down the slopes. Although it's small, this third of an acre space was a finalist in 2022 for Channel 4's Garden of the Year and is recognised as one of the nation's favourite gardens.
We're about 1,000 feet up in the Pennines here. It can get quite cold in winter. It rains a lot and sometimes the sun shines. We face southeast, which is quite important in terms of growing things in this garden.
We've not gone for the build a big wall and make a flat area approach, and most of the beds deal with the slope. So there are, we put little rocks in to hold things. We've got a lot of Alchemilla mollis, which has a lovely matted root system that helps to hold the bank. I think beyond creating flat areas, really, that paths and sloping beds work quite well. So this corner has more of a sort of cottagey feel. It has this lovely viburnum, it's Carlesii. We usually refer to this as the pink corner. The flowering currant came with the garden. I'm very fond of it. But I think it's quite a difficult shade of pink. But the bleeding heart I like as well, which that's that difficult pink as well. So we've gathered them together. And this time of year we've got the Bellis perennis, which again come in that pinky red colour. Well, obviously in the kitchen garden we've built box beds. The advantage is that everything gets its own sunlight when it's on the hillside. And, you can create washes of colour that you can't in a flat bed. So it has its advantages. Yeah. This bed of tulips is intended for cutting. So what we started doing is saving a few when we plant the pots of each variety and put them all in together. And that gives a nice variety for cutting.
There is no sense of something being at the back of the border and hidden. More of the garden is visible all of the time. From this point you get a really good view of the garden out into the landscape. You can get a sense of the slope of the garden, how steep it is.
Not only have David and Elizabeth learnt to plant on their steep sloping garden, they also have a huge collection of potted plants for year-round interest, as they explain.
We have about 800. During a moment in lockdown, I went round and counted them all. That's just the terracotta ones.
I think we might have bought some more.
Yes.
No, I particularly like hand-thrown British terracotta. Always looking for a potter I've not come across. So keep collecting. We keep a display of pots on this terrace because we look out from our sitting room. We keep the colour scheme the same all year, so it's always this sort of creamy yellow and blue. So that way you can change things in and out and the colours still work together.
We have a small collection of auriculas that we've built up over the years and try to display them here. The deck is an area where we can have a rotation of pots. The olives we've acquired over a number of years from supermarkets largely and grown them on. A couple of years ago we did actually have one olive, which is quite a feat from, I guess, in Yorkshire. So they will go in the winter. When we first came to the house, this area was much more open. The trees not grown, and our predecessors had left us with this outdoor dining table. We weren't quite sure what to do with it, but given that it's visible from our kitchen above, we thought, right, well, we'll turn it into a display area for plants, and it's been that ever since.
The last couple of years we've been growing pinguiculas that have come to live on the table. So these are the native ones that are hardy. This one stayed outside all winter. These were in the cold greenhouse. I like succulents, also pelargoniums, which need some help to get through the winter up here. So obviously they all have to go inside. This is one of our cold frames, the upright one, for housing the tender things in the winter. This one doesn't have any heat in it, but we'll put bubble wrap and a blanket over it if it's really cold. This is the greenhouse, so we've got a permanent collection of succulents on the shelf and a collection of little pots.
One of the things we've found is it's quite important, given the height we're trying to grow things at, that we need to choose our varieties carefully, because the growing season tends to be slightly shorter, and so they do well. The apple we chose, James Greaves, is more attuned to quite a cold climate in winter.
Elizabeth and David were keen to share with me the plants that are looking particularly good at Scape Lodge in late spring.
Tulips are coming on, euphorbias at the moment. We've got the polychroma behind us. And then one called chameleon that has dark new growth. It's very, very nice at the moment. This area used to be quite sunny, but as the pine tree's grown, it's become shaded, so we've put more hellebores in. We've got quite a collection for now. And the tulips are approaching their peak, I think, really.
We love this monkey puzzle. It is a bit of a feature of the village. A number of people have them, planted them in their front gardens.
Yes, I think there are at least 10, I think, locally. 50 years' time, there'll be quite a presence in the landscape.
Behind us, we have a magnificent, we think it's Yukon cherry tree that is almost at its peak at this moment. It has some lovely blossom. Quite a lot of people love the view from the main park behind us. They also love sitting in our roofed gazebo, looking out at the view, but also looking at the garden. So the plan here was to have a wildlife pond and a pond with some fish in it. Unfortunately, both the frogs and toads and newts had different ideas. The pond liner runs through into this area here, where we use the dampness to grow plants like Gunneria manicata here.
The erythroniums are doing their thing here at the moment. This is Erythronium White Beauty. It's taken a while to get the clumps to that size.
This is quite a shady part of the garden in contrast to the rest of it that is much more exposed. So we have here focused on shade-loving plants.
The ferns are very happy and have spread. We've got some quite interesting ones. This is the little native oak fern, which fills in nicely. We've got quite a lot of wood sorrel and native oxalis. I really love moss as well, so we encourage moss. It's nice. I started visiting Gardens Open for the National Garden Scheme with my parents when I was a teenager. I've always liked gardening, and then when we got together we started visiting, so all our lives really. So we always thought one day we'd like a garden big enough that we can sort of give back to the scheme by opening.
I think people, when they come and visit, they're really surprised as to what has managed to survive. We've tried lots and lots of different things.
I think we were much more hesitant about growing different things when we came, but found most things we tried got on with it, and if they don't, then we don't grow them anymore.
Yeah, it's about having a garden that's in tune with its place.
I like the garden to have an atmosphere of being cared for. It's just a really nice place to be.
Scape Lodge has a couple of open days throughout May, and you can find the details for all of these by visiting the NGS website or the link in the description. Head over to horticulture.co.uk for more information, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for more British garden tours. Don't forget to like this video. Thanks for watching!